Our second question here deals with a negative value as our fraction, as our angle, and it's over 12, which makes us a little bit confused. So the best way I would suggest tackling this is figure out what this number is in degrees. Let's be honest. We don't love fractions. It is what it is. Let's figure out what this is in degrees. I'm going to ignore the negative when I'm converting it back to degrees, and then I'll add it at the very end. So how do we go from rads to degrees? 5 pi over 12 times 180 over pi. That's going to cancel those out. So 5 times 180 equals divided by 12 equals, 75. Come back, 75. So we're dealing with like a negative 75 degrees. Okay, so how can I get a 70, 45, 45, 30 and 45 could get me a negative 75. How? If they were both negative, can I do that? Yes. Okay. But because it's in rads, that's over 4, and that's over 6. 4 and 6, common denominator. Oh, yeah, it is 12. Okay, yep, that works. Okay, so let's go 10. We're going to break, I'm going to put it down here. We're going to break it into a negative. Are we adding them or subtracting? I think we're subtracting them because it would have to be a negative minus another number. It can't be a negative minus a negative. That minus a negative would make it a positive. So it has to be one of them minus the other one. So I'm going to go with the 45 first. It doesn't matter which one you put first, but that's what I'm going to put first because I like danger. So let's go pi over 4. So that's the 45 minus the 30, which is pi over 6. And those work out, once you find a common denominator, to give you 5 pi over 12. So now I'm going to look up here and figure out, I'm doing the tan minus, so this is what I have to set up. Tan A minus tan B, 1 plus tan A, tan B. Let's go. Okay, so tan of A is tan of negative 45. We're going to use subtraction. And what is tan of a negative 45? I'm just going to use my calculator. I'm going to use it with degrees. No, I can just use this. Negative tan of 45. Tan of 45 would be 1 over opposite over adjacent. But if it's a negative 45, it would be, one of them would be negative, negative 1. So, tan of A, which would give us tan of negative pi over 4 minus tan of negative pi over 6 all over 1 plus tan pi over 4 tan pi over 6. So I just looked in the textbook, and the textbook's not rationalizing the denominator, so I'm giving up on that dream. Don't feel like it. Okay, so pi over 4 is 45. Tan is opposite over adjacent, and it's a negative, so it means we're going the other way, but that would just put us in the negative quadrant for tan, because it would be in the 4th quadrant, and in the 4th quadrant, tan is negative. So this becomes negative 1. minus, okay, if we go 30 degrees, and that would be negative. That would still be in the fourth quadrant. Tan is going to be a negative relationship. So tan of 30, 30 is this. It's opposite over adjacent. So it'll end up being negative. So why is that one negative? But, oh, no, it's not. It's not going to be negative. My bad. Okay, see how this is just like a, and then it's a minus. That's your subtractive aspect of the equation, and then the b value. So down here, sorry, this is not going to be a minus because the subtractive, we use the subtractive equation. This is the only minus. So our tan over 6 is actually going to be positive. So opposite over adjacent is 1 over root 3. Still stupid. Over 1 plus, we know that gives us negative 1. We know this gives us 1 over root 3. Okay, let's start doing rules. So this would be a root 3 over root 3. And negative root 3 minus 1 would be negative root 3 minus 1 over root 3. I'm doing finding common denominators in my head right here. I knew I had to multiply, like I changed this one into root 3 over root 3, and then it would have a common denominator, so it's negative root 3 minus 1. That's where I got that. Here, I'm going to do the same thing. At the same time, I'm going to multiply that in. This negative 1 is only going to change that to become a negative. So all over, 1 stays the same, minus 1 times that is, I'm going to do it in 2 steps, sorry. 3, then I've got negative root 3 minus 1 all over root 3 over the exact same thing, right? There's not a negative in front of that one. That one's just going to be root 3 minus 1 over root 3. Interesting. We're dividing this big ugly fraction by another fraction. We have to invert the second fraction and change its multiplication. So it's ugly, but we got this. Times, flip the second one, root 3 over root 3 minus 1. Bingo bango, those are going to cancel out. These look like they want to cancel out, but they don't because of this negative in front, which is a little bit tricky. So our final answer is negative root 3 minus 1 over root 3 minus 1. Okay.